So you want that degree in the discipline and social services in Ireland. You may be the student, the person with the calibre for the school of shame. If not corrupted at the entrance, don't worry, we will soon corrupt you. So what classes have we to make you the well-rounded, despicable being? Classes in lying. Learn how to hide behind the law with moderate tones and be evasive, and we'll have you censoring and redacting documents before you know it. Classes in gaslighting. Learn how to use pop psychology to get victims to agree with you that they may be misleading themselves and what they thought was real was invariably an hallucination. Remember to use the numbers games of your colleagues and the power of the organisation and the state to persuade them that they are deluding themselves. Classes in contradicting yourself. Learn how in one sentence to hold and propound two, if not more, diametrically opposite viewpoints. Cover all the bases. Remembering the man or woman who stands for everything stands for nothing. Classes in looking the other way. Learn how to filter out criminal wrongs and social work infractions by colleagues and management and by approved service users. Learn how to justify it and excuse it to yourself. Classes in social worker theology. Learn how our spiritual philosophy is based on transacting your way into heaven. You look after service users you are afraid of, or have connections, or are you identify with, or have sexual interactions with, and conversely, you can sell out those outside these criteria. Remember, you traded your way into the next spiritual level. It's a numbers game. Classes in shielding. Learn how to protect colleagues who break the law, from minor to serious laws. This leads to classes in apologising for such colleagues, always coming up with excuses to deflect and distract, such as the goody, he does so much unseen work. Then develop this into classes in enabling, because thanks to the shielding and apologising, that's what you are effectively doing. Classes in slacking. Learn how to pretend to be working, to look busy, to do meaningless work that leads nowhere, to get that job that fosters dossing. Classes in killing imagination. Learn how to go by the book and eschew those with vision or thinking outside the box. But of course, being duplicitous, you will propagandise that you have these very left field attributes. Classes in obeying the hierarchy. Learn how to defer to senior colleagues and management. It is all about the LCD, the lowest common denominator, the culture that embodies the line of least resistance. Classes in bullying. Learn how to turn on a colleague who is a whistleblower and reports to management and the board of management, and they demand standards and fairness. You will circle the wagons and have the State Department and their inspectors and the unions on your side and a no-show by the media. Classes in blackballing. Learn how to accept the culture of social work by throwing service users under the bus once a colleague or management have decided that service user is outside protection and the law. Classes in smirking. Learn that as you put on your social work uniform and vice, that you learn such fashionable attributes in this school, you will develop right on niches in music. With this, you fool the vast majority of people in this state, including voters and elites, and learn where and when to have that self-satisfied smirk. Classes and excuses. Learn how to blame everybody else or everything else but your own profession with excuses of not enough money or enough people employed or restricted hours or restricted laws or that colleague is sadly ill again or that old canard, we are only human too. Classes in being heartless. Learn how to switch off once you leave the workplace and callously not care for the suffering of the service users. In fact, learn how to switch off when in the workplace. You will dislocate yourself from being a member of the community and convert everyone into numbers. You will not respond to clients saying hello to you outside of office hours, and you will buzz from the mixed messages that sends to the client. You will know the social service industry fully supports this modus operandi. Classes in manipulating. Learn how to play with service users' emotions and bring them to a certain emotional space and then abandon them. You will experience the ultimate rush. Learn how to do it again and again to the same service user. Prepare to use those crocodile tears. Classes in being childish. Learn how to debase yourself. To not act like a responsible adult, but act like a brain-impaired tug or drag, and know you are not on your own as your colleagues roll in behind you. Classes in pinpointing the vulnerable. Learn who are those you can exploit and how much you can exploit them before any kind of repercussions kicks in. Know that in your class there are many who will engage in non-consensual sex. You will learn to tolerate them as co-students and as colleagues and as service users. You will follow the social work convention of, if a sex offender does not threaten me or my colleagues, then he is okay. If, however, he threatens vulnerable service users, he is still okay. Classes in tolerance. Learn how to tolerate service users assaulting and robbing and threatening and coercing and setting up rooms and falsifying charges against fellow vulnerable service users. Classes in being bourgeois. Learn to know you have the degree. You have joined the middle class. You are now a professional salaried man or woman. There is now a lot of work that is beneath you. You do not work on weekends or bank holidays or evenings or even on mornings. You get up early on Friday. You follow up in classes of prestige. Feel good as the media and the stage and civic society and the politicians propagandize about all the saintly work you do and learn how to revel in it. You will learn in school how to strike the perfect pose for the cameras. Classes in slack standards. Learn how to maintain lousy standard levels of cleanliness for clients and break all the conventions of food preparation. Do your best to help the vectors of hepatitis to spread that condition. Classes on prioritization. Learn that we all have problems, but that problems of social workers take precedence over clients. True, that may mean that the service user becomes ultimately forgotten about when the profession should, in theory, be geared to the user getting the help they need. By the time you are finished, you will be one terrible human being with the worst kind of characteristics. You never know, we may arrange for Satan to give you your degree, but you have to get the degrees of knowledge before we divulge that at the school of shame. You are now a licensed social worker here in Ireland. Congratulations.